So as a matter of fact, you must gain the confidence of the community people. That's number one factor. And how do you gain the confidence of the community people? By ensuring that they don't have any doubt about the role they are playing within their community. In fact, they should see you more like them. That's when they can be free with you. They can divulge information without exercising any fear. And you must also avoid anything that will make you to look as if you are against anything they do, particularly in the area of religion, in the area of culture. Everything that is common to that community, you must try to associate yourself with this as far as it's not illegal. Because as a security officer, you are not expected to go there and then join the smuggling community. Today, in Nigeria, the Controller General of Nigerian Service, not because he's the Controller General of the Service, but because of the personality he built around himself, has taken this service from the level where we used to be to a level where we are now, and we are aspiring to go beyond that. And that's the more reason why this ECOWAS office is a major factor when it comes to the issue of migrant restriction that is ongoing. The divisional immigration officers are very, very vital arm of the service that the service will use to be able to collect intelligence, to be able to manage any person from any of the local governments, because 774 local government of the Federation is always one number. And you know, we have the ECOWAS protocol that permits right of entry, the right of residence,
The NIS, with the support of the International Organization for Migration, IOM, organized a sensitization and awareness meeting on the NIS training curriculum for the Personnel Training Resource Centers, PTRCS, and strategy on free movement and migration management. The Comptroller General, Muhammad Babandede, stated his intention to build a PTRC in every state command in Nigeria and expressed his support to the free movement of migrants and Nigerians.
The Personnel Training Resource Center is one of the recommendations in the NIS training strategy document that is aimed at bringing training closer to the doorstep of officers in their individual places of primary assignment. Like we are aware, NIS has formations all over the Federation, in every state command in Nigeria, and we're equally represented in all the 774 local governments. In the strategic document, the purpose is to ensure that over a stretch of time, NIS will be able to have a Personnel Training Resource Center in every state command of the Federation. And it is one of the laudable achievements of our current Controller General, Mr. Muhammad Babandede, the MFR, in partnership with support of our donor partners, International Organization for Migration. And hitherto, we only had training institutions in 4 locations. We have the our staff command in Sokoto. We have the training institution for basic training at the Immigration Training Staff College in Command in Kano. We have the one for the middle cadre in Olu, and the one for junior officer assistant cadre in Hauda in Rivers State. So the essence of the Personnel Training Resource Center is to ensure that we have training centers for limited number of personnel, like 15 to 20 at a time, where you have a unified curriculum that is developed in line with the current realities of the NIS, which includes a curriculum on international conventions, which ECOWAS protocol and free movement of persons is part of the component of the training curriculum that is taught currently at the 7 PTRCs that we have all over the Federation. We have, at the first phase of the implementation, we have in the service headquarters. We equally have one in Cross River State Command in Calabar. We have in Ogun State Command in Abeokuta. We have in Edo State Command in Benin City. We have in Anambra State Command in Oka. We have equally in the Kano State Command in Kano, and we equally have in Kebbi State Command, which, since we have started in February last year, when it was inaugurated, officers, over 1,164 officers have been trained at the center. We had equally had a joint training migrate airports to the seaports and equally at the land borders. So it is a component of the training curriculum that is developed where issues of human rights are given key attention, because movement facilitation across the borders, whether by land, by sea, by air, involves interaction with people, where we ensure that officers ensure they treat people in a humane manner, they respect their rights, especially those that are vulnerable, pregnant women, young persons, and people that are needed to be given special attention, and people with disabilities. So we believe that all the content of this curriculum will have assisted in a great number of areas to be able to assist officers manage migrants better in their respective places of primary assignment, most especially at the land borders, where ECOWAS facilitation, where most of the ECOWAS movement occur. Some of our ECOWAS brothers and sisters equally arrive through the airports and the seaport, but a large number of them enter through the land borders in Nigeria that is spread across over 13 states in Nigeria, and in so many local governments that share border between Nigeria and our neighboring countries. At the east, by Cameroon end, at Niger, Chad, and Benin Republic at the west. The ordinary training is packaged in such a way as to take care of specific programs, most especially for specific rank based on years of experience as it has been structured. The one in Sokoto is for officers that have gotten to the rank of level Chief Superintendent of Immigration and Assistant Controllers and above to Controller Cadre, where they talk about policy level management courses are taught, and they invite, so in partnership with some of our stakeholders, they had trainings at that level. And it's for a very long period of time, maybe like 3 months. Most of the trainings are between 3 months to 6 months, and even a year. Whereas the trainings at the PTRCs are for short-term trainings and for limited number of people with the curriculum that is developed online, that is using ICT-driven, where officers will have interaction with the computer, with the curriculum of conventional issues, like most especially our current legislation. We believe that the CGIs believe that every immigration officer should have on his fingertips thorough knowledge of our legislations. We need to all be familiar with human rights. We need to be familiar with migration management. These are contemporary issues. We need to equally be familiar with some other border management. Every immigration officer, this is a common knowledge that cuts across every immigration officer. And the curriculum that is developed was with collaboration of International Organization for Migration and all directorates where all these issues that border on the topics that were mentioned are handled, so that every immigration officer will have current knowledge of all these aspects of immigration that we talk about, and that the one that borders on even human trafficking. We look at trafficking in persons, and that was why I explained to you the CGIS permitted the program to occur so that we have a co-training. The essence of having co-training with other agencies, with NAPTIP, is to ensure that we understand one another in areas of interagency collaboration, so that we know where our own roles start and where their own start and where it stops. With COVID-19, which is a new normal for NIS and for the whole nation and for the whole world, when Nigeria government opens up opportunities for limited group gatherings, immigration will have a limited capacity, 15 to 20, which is within the scope of the PTFC directive of gatherings that we can accommodate. The service is complying fully with the COVID-19 protocol. We have we adhere strictly to wearing masks, and the trainings we are going to start. We're already about to start a training very soon, where we have asked our personnel to come up with their masks. We provide the basic needs, sanitizers, hand washing equipment, and our face masks, such that we'll be able to carry on. Most especially, if need be, we may have a plan of the service like the PTRC is already an IT-driven center. So we can continue for now using the training centers where you have population of 15 to 20 personnel, provide hand washing equipment, sanitizers, and at the end of the day, the training will continue. And if there is need, I'm sure if we pray that this corona issue will not be prolonged longer than necessary. Our CGIs had meetings very recently with top management on Zoom. So if it is possible, we can enlarge our online training platform such that we have a webinar system with Zooming facilities where officers can have interaction online and we can disseminate such trainings. Our officers are well equipped. Almost everyone now is computer literate, and we are really very ready. We are well equipped to comply with the new challenges that are thrown up on everybody's faces, so that whatever we need to develop, we are ready to change, to adapt, to go from manual trainings. Of course, the trainings at our PTRAS is, like we have said, is an IT-driven training facility. So if we need to extend that to the training institutions and have online trainings, the NIS is ready to adapt to that. It may interest you that NIS currently is having a training supported by the French Embassy, which already the facilitators are already having an online training via their IT. So if the corona issue gets prolonged, we may convert all our trainings to online, and we'll be able to continue and carry on with all our training plans for the year.
For your observations, comments, and questions, always reach us on these social media platforms: www.immigration.gov.ng. Send your emails to nis.pro@immigration.gov.ng. Our Twitter handle is NIG Immigration. We will surely respond. That concludes our package for this week. Thank you for your time. Remember, COVID-19 is real, and here with us. Be responsible and follow all safety measures to stay safe. Until next time, I'm Victoria Omari Obeka. Goodbye.
as old as the nature is artistic when it comes to how it relates to its environment. Life is said to be an expression of beauty and art, where different materials or things are used to beautify the environment and even the human body. The beautification of the human body tells a story of different cultures, but one commonly found in this part of the country is the henna design. The precision in henna design is a wonder, as the creative nature of man is brought to play.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Welcome to another episode of Mining in Nigeria, a program designed to open your eyes to the solid mineral potentials of the nation and government's efforts towards exploiting these minerals for the benefit of the nation. Activities in the sector as a tool for economic diversification. On this episode, we continue with our overview of states and their mineral potentials while highlighting the activities of miners in the state that have played host to the Mining in Nigeria crew. Our focus this week is on Nasarawa State, the home of solid minerals. This will come after we take highlights of happenings from the Ministry of Mines and State Development. My name is Gabriel Ojile, urging you to stay tuned for the details after this time out.
The road to shared mining prosperity. We must ensure that we do not do it in a way that harms our health or our environment. Artisanal mining and the life to enjoy the wealth from it is possible if we put in place the proper preventive measures and provide the right equipment. No country should have to pay for its economic prosperity and development with the lives and well-being of its people.
We will begin the program with news from the diary of the Ministry of Mines and State Development. Don't go away.
Minister of Mines and Steel Development, architect Olamilekan Adegbite, has said that the federal government is creating a gold ecosystem that would minimize the high rate of illegal gold mining and smuggling in the country, as well as increase the government's revenue from the resource, create jobs, and improve environmental and social stewardship. He stated this in a keynote address at the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce (NBCC) webinar on the topic, Unlocking Nigeria's Economic Potential, held recently. He said that the structural reforms embarked upon in the industry are geared towards supporting the emergence of a vibrant private sector to stimulate resource-based industrialization. Adegbite said government will serve as a regulator, providing an enabling environment for business to thrive. Architect Adegbite also added that, with the double-ended shock of the COVID-19 pandemic and the consequent decline in oil prices, government is fast-tracking its efforts to see that the diversification agenda of this administration pushes through. He commended the Nigerian British Chambers of Commerce (NBCC) for its continuous efforts in promoting trade and investment between Nigeria and the UK. Minister of Mines and Steel Development, architect Olamilekan Adegbite says that the mining industry is still on track to reach its target of contributing 5% to the nation's GDP in the next 5 years. He revealed this at the webinar of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group (NESG), which took place recently to discuss the opportunities and impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the Nigerian mining industry. Describing the webinar as timely, the minister noted some ongoing initiatives of government aimed at stimulating the growth of the industry, some of which include working with several stakeholders to design specific mining credit enhancement instruments, generating integrated geoscience information that will help in de-risking the mining sector, and developing a mineral economic corridor to address infrastructure gaps in the mining value chain. He added that with support from the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari and his emphasis on diversification, job creation, and sustainable revenue generation, he is confident that Nigeria's mining industry is on track to reach the goal of 5% GDP contribution in the stipulated time frame.
Illegal exportation of our solid minerals is economic sabotage. You can do the mineral export business the right way. Apply for a mineral export license. Get and fill the Certificate of Incorporation Forms CAC 2 and 7. Give the source of the mineral. Get an inspection report. Pay royalty of 5% only and pronto. We are in the mineral export business legally and responsibly. Stop the illegal exportation of our solid minerals. For further inquiries, visit us at our headquarters, number 2, Luanda Crescent, off Adetokumbo Ademola Crescent, Wuse Zone 2, Abuja, FCT, Nigeria, or call us on +234 952 390 64 or +234 908 740 4761. You can also visit our website at www.minesandsteel.gov.ng or send an email to iaismp.support@minesandsteel.com. This message from the Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel Development.
Thank you for staying with us. Coal, lead, zinc, barite, dolomite, salt, gemstones, dimension stones. The list of solid minerals in Nasarawa State is really long, hence the nickname Home of Solid Minerals. Mining investments in the state is also quite vast. Both local and foreign companies have set up businesses in Nasarawa. The government is also conscious of the mineral status of the state, as both ministers have visited Nasarawa State and interacted with the miners. On the issues today, we shall take a look at what investors in Nasarawa State have done and are doing to explore the mineral potential to the mine sites. Stay tuned.
Located in the north-central region of Nigeria, Nasarawa State is bordered by the Federal Capital Territory, Kaduna, Plateau, Taraba, Benue, and Kogi states. All its neighboring states are mineral-rich, but Nasarawa surpasses them in its area of solid minerals. Some of the solid minerals found in the Home of Solid Minerals include gold, barite, coal, tantalite, gemstones, salt, limestone, dolomite, lead zinc, and dimension stones of various types, to mention but a few. Reports suggest that each of its 13 local government areas possess solid mineral resources in commercial quantities. Like in many other parts of the country, the rich potentials of Nasarawa State are yet to be fully explored.
In terms of exploration, I cannot say it is in full capacity. You know, mining is a highly capital intensive in nature. Despite that, you find some small-scale miners or small-scale mining activity going on in almost all the major mineral-bearing local government areas.
Unlike many other states with mineral potentials in the country, most mining activities in Nasarawa State are carried out by artisanal miners. There are, however, a number of investments that have taken the lead in exploring the rich mineral potentials. Nadabo Lead and Zinc Mining Company is one of such. It is mining for lead zinc in Awe local government area.
Just from your rear there, you can see it's an indicator that there is lead and zinc down. If you see this formation, according to the experts, it's an indication that yes, the lead and zinc is down there. It's just a matter of time before you'll hit the material in commercial quantities. What we have around this area is millions of tons. And as we move down, we are harvesting little, and as we are going down, we continue the harvesting until where we have the bigger vein, and then we can say, okay, we are good to go.
With upcoming policies from the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development, beneficiation of minerals is gradually becoming mandatory for industry players. It is the logical step for Nadabo Lead and Zinc Mining Company if the resources are available.
In the lead, there is high percentage of silver. So we are looking at how we are going to add value as we progress. And we have the capital, maybe eventually we may raise more capital. If people are interested, they can come and invest so that we can buy the processing equipment. And we can bring out as many metals as possible from the ground. And when we grind, I believe from the lead itself, we can have a lot more, minerals.
Elsewhere in Uke, Karu local government area in Fujian Stones, a local manufacturer of dimension stones. It partners with OFL Marbles and Granite alongside two others to run a modest operation. As Mr. Aduku puts it,
4.5 million coronavirus-infected patients in low- and middle-income countries. Reports have it that the advance purchase will be made under a deal negotiation led by the UNITAID and Wellcome as part of the World Health Organization's plan to accelerate access to therapeutics. Researchers say the drug will prevent 1 death for every 8 patients treated while on ventilators and 1 for every 25 patients on extra oxygen. Meanwhile, the South African Defense Force has confirmed that at least 40 of its officers have tested positive for coronavirus. The troops are from an infantry battalion based in Cape Town and were deployed to the northern Limpopo province to help another battalion safeguard the border between South Africa and Zimbabwe. Elsewhere in the world, Britain will end coronavirus quarantines for people arriving in England from more than 50 countries, including Germany, France, Spain, and Italy. But the United States is excluded from the list. And that's a global update on COVID-19. Many thanks for watching. I am Joyce Ometu.
And from Oyo State comes the report that Governor Seyi Makinde has paid an on-the-spot assessment visit to communities affected by the recent heavy rainfall, which wreaked havoc in some parts of Ibadan and rendered many homeless. Ayomiko Ajibola has the details.
The heavy rainfall, which started at about 2 p.m., lasted for hours, with flood experienced in most parts of the city, which include New Garage, Olodo, Onipepeye in Old Ife Road, Apata, Okeado, among others, with properties worth millions of naira destroyed. Inspecting the affected communities, Governor Seyi Makinde explained that the state government had commenced work on proper channelization, better drainage system, construction of necessary bridges, and ensuring that no structure blocked the waterways in accordance with the drainage master plan under Ibadan Urban Flood Management Project.
The bridge is undersized, and yes, there's a drainage master plan for Oyo State under the Ibadan Urban Flood Management Projects. They've been identified, and I think we have to keep taking them out one at a time.
He promised that in the next 18 months, there will be appreciable improvement on the flood management in the state. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
And still seeing with flash floods being experienced in some parts of the country, we have in the studio Director General of the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, Mr. Clement Nze. Mr. Nze, glad to have you join us in our studio.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here.
We want you to refresh our minds and on the 2020 flood outlook.
The 2020 flood outlook, as predicted and presented by my agency, has predicted that at 102 LGAs in Nigeria, cutting across 28 states, are likely to be heavily impacted by flood in 2020. And 275 other LGAs, which covers the entire country with the FCT, are equally prone to flooding, but may not be at the same magnitude as the 102 AGS in 28 states. So that's what our prediction for 2020 has presented.
Now, already a number of states have experienced devastating consequences of floods. Now, what measures should be put in place to reduce the gravity of disasters such as this, especially amidst the coronavirus pandemic?
You see, some
We go in.
And reiterates its appeal to aggrieved communities and individuals and groups not to resort to self-help and jungle justice, but rather comply with the rule of law to avoid vicious cycles of reprisal. The Nassau state government says enough is enough of increasing cases of kidnapping and armed robbery in parts of the state. Assessing the situation at a meeting in Lafia, Governor Abdullahi Sule reiterated federal government's commitment to ensure severe penalty for perpetrators as it entrenches community-based surveillance mechanism to fight crime.
In the past few months, no day passes without the people raising a red flag about security challenges. The worst hit is the Western Senatorial Zone, which is close to Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. Governor Sule says state government is seeking for more federal support.
We are working along with the federal agencies, all the police, DSS, the Air Force, and the military, to ensure that we are able to rescue the people who have been kidnapped and taken into the bush in that area. We are also trying to use the opportunity to see what we can do to reduce the risk in that area.
The meeting notes rising cases of COVID-19 among medical personnel. Government advised residents to take responsibility and adhere strictly to protocols to contain the pandemic. In Lafia, Aliyu Tijan Mohammed, NTA News.
To other matters now, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farouk, says the conditional cash transfer program will continue to be on the top list of President Buhari's administration, considering how the program has changed the lives of vulnerable Nigerians, especially in the midst of COVID-19. The minister stated this while inspecting the disbursement of cash for May and June in Lokoja, Kogi State. Ilyasu Ali Yakub reports.
122,832 beneficiaries for the conditional cash transfer in Kogi State have been earmarked to benefit from the monthly 5,000 naira in the $322.5 million Abuja loot as directed by President Muhammadu Buhari. Out of this number, 74,162 beneficiaries have been enrolled and are being paid. This is in addition to 34,456 beneficiaries that are currently benefiting in Kogi State, as 48,661 vulnerable Nigerians in the state are waiting to be enrolled into the program. The humanitarian minister told Governor Yaya Bello of Kogi State that the federal government will not leave any stone unturned towards improving the welfare of vulnerable Nigerians.
Today we are continuing with the payments for the months of May and June, as we shall observe at the Falale Payment Center, which is expected to benefit 62,129 individuals.
Let me express on behalf of myself, the government and the good people of Kogi State, profound appreciation to Mr. President Muhammad Buhari, the father of the nation, very compassionate, for these wonderful efforts that is putting forward in ensuring that the citizens generally is self-sufficient.
The Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Vice Marshal Muhammadu Mohammed, was part of the minister's entourage. From Lokoja in Kogi State, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
As the rainy season commences, the federal government has commenced the distribution of agricultural inputs nationwide to support farmers' post-agricultural activities amidst coronavirus pandemic. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development Mohammed Nanono flagged off the distribution in Lokoja, Kogi State. Musa Baba Ali reports.
The rainy season is close to its peak across the country, a very crucial period to farmers. And at a time like this, farming inputs such as seeds and fertilizer are next most important. However, the social and economic challenges occasioned by the coronavirus affect the prices of farming inputs.
Due to all this lockdown here and there, at the end of the day, people cannot go to the farm.
Dry season of farmers, they have no money. So many people run away because before you plant two muddles, you are going to 1,000.
The palliative coming from government is to assist farmers with quality seeds and seedlings and boost agricultural activities amidst COVID-19.
The minister takes the issue of food security and health of the population seriously. These seeds are being given to the beneficiaries free of charge, while other inputs given at 75% subsidy.
For Kogi State, the farmers are going home with more than 134,000 kilograms of assorted seeds, comprising soybeans, sesame, cocoa, cashew, orange-fleshed sweet potato, and organic fertilizer.
The result is expected. Increase in food production, improvement in the livelihood of our people.
We are going to put more efforts so that the production will be increased more than before.
That will enable us to improve whatever we are producing based on the best agricultural practice globally.
From Lokoja, Kogi State, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The recent drastic drop in the prices of oil has shown the need to increase Nigeria's refining capacity in oil and gas. To support the establishment of refining facilities, the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, in a virtual meeting, has signed a shareholder agreement with the Pearl Midstream Company Limited and Ericsson in Nigeria Limited for the establishment of an energy park in Edo State and a lubricating oil terminal in Bayelsa State. Muplak Dakok reports that the projects are expected to create at least 1,500 jobs, in line with the federal government's resolve to create more jobs.
The partnership between the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board (NCDMB) and the two companies, worth 25 billion naira, is aimed at job creation, petroleum products availability, and development of in-country capabilities in oil and gas.
These two partnerships are expected to create about 1,500 direct, indirect, and induced employment opportunities. Our expectation is that this will be achieved in less than 2 years from now.
With the new partnership, DuPont Company will construct an energy park in Edo State comprising of 2,500 barrels per day modular refinery, 30 million standard cubic feet per day gas processing facility, and 2 megawatts power plants.
The DuPont partnership is in furtherance of our strategy to enhance in-country value addition by supporting the establishment of processing facilities close to marginal or stranded hydrocarbon fields.
The partnership with Erascon is to establish the first lubricating oil blending plant in Bayelsa State, which will be deployed for the production of other chemicals.
Erascon study in the nearest future as we go in this partnership will be written as a good story of NTA partnership.
The mission, which will commence 1 month from now, is to serve as a catalyst for the industrialization of the Nigeria oil and gas industry and its linkage sectors, as the year 2020 is declared the year for gas development in Nigeria. Muplang Dakok, NTA News.
Let's take our first break now. More reports from across the country when we return. Do stay.
I wish to once again commend the frontline workers across the country who, on a daily basis, risk everything to ensure we win this fight. For those who got infected in the line of duty, rest assured that government will do all it takes to support you and your families during this exceedingly difficult period. I will also take this opportunity to assure you all that your safety, well-being, and welfare remains paramount to our government. I am using this opportunity to express our deepest condolences to the families of all Nigerians that have lost their loved ones as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is our collective loss, and we share your grief.
You see, as I dey talk to you plenty now, because I get glow too, that make me dey talk. Please, that be not be so. All right. Don't be say I won't talk plenty. Una no self say I no dey lie. You see this glow? If you get them, una no go even una go just dey talk, they go because it's not there.
Enjoy international calls from as low as 40 kobo per second from Nigeria to the world. Call your loved ones today.
Thank you, my sister. You do well, eh?
Glow Unlimited.
This kind of nonsense has to end today. Why would the bank be removing somebody's money every time like that?
Mr. John.
My neighbor.
Yes, sir. Why are you rushing to like this?
Can you imagine? I just sent money to my son, and I got a debit alert of 50 naira from my bank as stamp duty. I am going to seek explanation from my bank because I made a transfer, not post a letter.
Mr. John, let me explain what stamp duty is. Stamp duty is not all about postage stamp matters. The 50 naira is a stamp duty levy charged by banks on customers who make transfers of 10,000 naira and above from one bank account to another bank account.
And why should I pay stamp duty for my hard-earned money?
Mr. John, paying stamp duty levy is a civic duty for every patriotic citizen. The taxes we all pay are collected and used by the government to pay salaries and provide basic amenities for citizens. It's even easier to make stamp duty payments now. All you need to do as a taxpayer is to log on to the following: www.stampduty.gov.ng or www.firs.gov.ng and click on e-stamping. By the way, Mr. John, it pays to pay your tax, you know.
Oh, thank you very much.
Sir.
Thank you, my daughter.
You're welcome,
My
sir.
regards to your family.
All right, sir.
This broadcast is powered by FIRS, Federal Inland Revenue Service.
The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemieson, invites federal civil servants to participate in the innovation competition across ministries, departments, and agencies. The introduction of an innovation culture in the federal civil service is to source for innovative ideas and solutions for better, cheaper, and more accessible public service. The move will increase revenue and cut cost of governance. Details: service-wide sensitization, 6th July 2020, time 11 a.m. Submission deadline, 13th July 2020. Awards ceremony, 31st July 2020. First prize, 3 million naira. Second prize, 1,750,000 naira. Third prize, 1 million naira. Consolation prizes of 200,000 naira for 10 people. For more info, please visit www.ohcsf.gov.ng. Email innovation@ohcsf.gov.ng or call 080-66-162-995. Permanent Secretary, Service Policies and Strategy Strategic Office. Announcer.
Many Nigerian women, by their contributions to their societies, though they are gone, we still remember them. Today, from northern Nigeria, a living legend is in the making. Ambassador Dr. Fatima Mohammed Goni is an outstanding grassroots political mobilizer. She is one woman who stood and identified with the vulnerables.
Since I was young, if I see people around me happy, I was happy. If I see people, they are not happy, I'm not happy.
This woman is using everything at her disposal to make life worth living for millions of people.
Dr. Ambassador Fatima Goni, I love her because of her commitment to wipe tears on the faces of the less privileged.
The foundation, I think, came as a result of her humility.
We can't let all this effort go uncelebrated. Let's recognize and support the noble efforts of this rare Nigerian woman.
The leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, in collaboration with the Nigeria Interreligious Council, NIREC, is pleased to invite you, your close friends and associates, to the National Interdenominational Church Prayer Service, Team, The Lord Heal Our Land of COVID-19 Pandemic, 2 Chronicles 7 verse 14. The prayer service will by God's grace take place at the National Christian Center, Abuja, on Sunday, July 5th, 2020, beginning from 3 p.m.
The governing board and management staff of the North-East Development Commission wishes to express its sincere appreciation and deepest gratitude to His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, for his goodwill and support towards the Commission. The North-East Development Commission also appreciates President of the Senate, Senator Ahmed Ibrahim Lawan, PhD, CEO, Executive Governors from the North-East region, Hajia Sadia Umar Farooq, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Major General Baba Gana Mangono, retired National Security Advisor, Senator Yusuf Abubakar Yusuf, Chairman, Senate Committee on Special Duties, Honorable Khadija Bakar Abba Ibrahim, Chairman, House Committee on NEDC, Ambassador Ahmed Rufai Abubakar, DG, Nigerian Intelligence Agency, Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of Defense Intelligence, Service Chiefs, Inspector General of Police, Director General State Security Service, Commandant NSCDC, Representative of Development Partners and the general public, for attending handing over ceremony of operational security vehicles to the Nigerian Armed Forces, ambulances and hospital equipment to federal medical institutions, medical centers, and the formal groundbreaking ceremony of 1,000 houses in Goma local government area out of the 10,000 mass housing program of President Muhammadu Buhari's special intervention to fast-track the settlement process of displaced communities in Borno State. Signed, Muhammad J. Al-Kali, Managing Director, CEO.
Welcome back. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has received the report of the Post-COVID Initiative Committee on the Creative Industry with assurance that the federal government will study the report and act appropriately in a bid to mitigate the negative impact of the pandemic on the sector. Anthony Fossen reports.
The term creative industry is referred to businesses with creativity at its core. For instance, designs, music, publishing, films and video, crafts, visual arts, fashion, television and radio, advertising, literature, among others. This sector is important in a growing economy like Nigeria because skills and talent have the potential to create wealth and jobs. It is against this background that the Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, in realizing the negative impact of COVID-19 on the creative industry, set up a committee comprising members of the creative industry stakeholders to come up with a short, medium and long-term proposal that the federal government will use as a guide in catering for the sector in a post-COVID-19 era. At a virtual submission of the committee's report, the Information and Culture Minister said, based on feedbacks that has reached him, he has no doubt that the report that has been submitted is a culmination of painstaking efforts.
The report, which is very rich and detailed, is also very timely, coming at a time that the federal government is looking more towards the creative industry to help revamp the economy in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic.
He, however, commended the 22-member committee chaired by Ali Baba and Sir Ibrahim as vice chairperson. Lai Mohammed said their commitment to the assignment demonstrates their patriotism to their fatherland.
I can beat my chest.
Thank you, sir.
Among my peers and say that, to the best of my knowledge, this is the first time this kind of IPAC committee will be set up. They will work selflessly for weeks. They will come out and give me a first-class report, and nobody asks for one single day for sitting allowance or drinking allowance.
Chairman of the committee, Ali Baba, alongside other members of the committee, applauded the minister's concern for the industry and assured that they will continue to render their contribution to nation building whenever their contributions are needed. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, is to purchase dexamethasone for COVID-19 patients in poor countries, just as 40 soldiers in South Africa test positive for coronavirus. Here's Joyce Ometo with an update on the pandemic.
The total number of confirmed coronavirus cases globally has crossed 11 million. Figures compiled by Johns Hopkins University as at 6 p.m. show that the world has registered 11,058,889 cases and 525,528 deaths with over 6 million recoveries. Out of these numbers, Africa has 436,710 cases, resulting to 10,696 deaths on the continent. In Nigeria, statistics by the Center for Disease Control indicates that 27,110 cases have been recorded, 616 deaths, and 10,801 patients have recovered. The United Nations Children's Fund is currently working to purchase the steroid dexamethasone for 4.5 million coronavirus-infected patients in low- and middle-income countries. Reports have it that the advance purchase will be made under a deal negotiation led by the UNITAID and Wellcome as part of the World Health Organization's plan to accelerate access to therapeutics. Researchers say the drug will prevent 1 death for every 8 patients treated while on ventilators and 1 for every 25 patients on extra oxygen. Meanwhile, the South African Defense Force has confirmed that at least 40 of its officers have tested positive for coronavirus. The troops are from an infantry battalion based in Cape Town and were deployed to the northern Limpopo province to help another battalion safeguard the border between South Africa and Zimbabwe. Elsewhere in the world, Britain will end coronavirus quarantines for people arriving in England from more than 50 countries, including Germany, France, Spain, and Italy. But the United States is excluded from the list. And that's a global update on COVID-19. Many thanks for watching. I am Joyce Ometu.
The Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says schools will reopen on the 3rd of August 2020 for SS3 and Tech 3 students, while JS3 students are to await specific assessment before resumption. The governor, who made this clear at a media briefing in Lagos, said the reopening applies to only day students in the public and private school system. Nosa Osula reports.
The governor, who assured residents that government will continue to be aggressive and proactive in its COVID-19 testing response and management, disclosed that the state is partnering with the private sector to scale up testing and facilities at isolation centers.
www.lasgsafetyreg.com will continue to advise that our people use this portal for registration sake, and they are not meant to pay any form of money. This registration and all of the inspections are free of charge.
The governor made it clear that residents who have symptoms of COVID-19 will be treated for free by the state government. He, however, explained that others without symptoms will bear the cost, adding that such tests must be carried out at any of the accredited private laboratories.
Sport facility and recreational parks in residential estates only will also be permitted to open at this time. And I'm employed that there will be a maximum of 20 at any of those gatherings.
Governor Sanwo-Olu warned residents to desist from flouting government's COVID-19 guidelines for prevention, emphasizing that defaulters will be prosecuted, particularly for not wearing face masks in public. In Lagos, Nusa, Usula, NTA News.
Now, to flatten the curve of COVID-19 pandemic and protect especially the frontline workers, the global diaspora community mobilized funds and procured personal protective equipment worth 48 million naira. The Minister of State Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Zubairu Dada, alongside Chairman CEO Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, presented the items to the chairman and members of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 in Abuja. The minister acknowledged the contributions of Nigerians in diaspora and urged them never to forget home.
About the donations made by the Nigerians in diaspora COVID-19 support group is that all the donated items are world-class, high-quality, durable, reusable, and all are made in Nigeria.
Every state is going to get something. So as they brought them packaged per state, so as you see those items, each state gets their own PPEs and they will be delivered directly. Every state has an SA diaspora who will work with NCDC, PTF to get them to the appropriate destination. So for me, I think it's most commendable. It's heartwarming and touching that despite the challenge, they could put this together. And they still told us this is the first phase.
We did everything locally because we want to help in part of our nation building to help the Nigerian economy.
The chairman president, Boss Mustafa, Kwara State governments have commended Boa Group through its philanthropic arm, Boa Foundation, for its support to both states in assisting in their fight against COVID-19. Gufan Shaji reports that Boa donated 6 ambulances, food supplies and 100 million naira each to both states.
Winning the fight against the ravaging COVID-19 has remained foremost for federal government and groups like the Boa Foundation, who have continued to provide assistance to states to support them mitigate the effect of the pandemic. This time around, Rivers and Kwara states are the beneficiaries.
On behalf of our chairman, Najab Samad Rabi, we are pleased to present these ambulances.
Representative of Boa Foundation says the donations are designed to assist the governments in fighting the pandemic to a standstill as number of cases continue to rise in Nigeria.
We are showing our utmost support to present this 3 ambulances in addition to the 100 million naira donated to Rivers State. We also have a truckload of pasta of 4,500 cartons.
And our chairman is very particular about the development of Kwara State. Only interested in our investments here, they are also interested in the well-being of Kwarans.
Rivers State Governor Nyonson Wike, his Kwara State counterpart Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, expressed appreciation for the gesture.
Well, we are very happy with you, and please do not relent in supporting the government of the state.
Boa has lived up to expectation again. It's not just the buses. Boa gave us 100 million naira, which we're very grateful for.
Boa Group says it has committed about $20 million to various efforts in tackling the virus within Nigeria since the outbreak. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji, NTA News.
As part of measures to assist the FCT administration in the battle against the spread of COVID-19 pandemic, Security and Exchange Commission has donated an ambulance to assist the administration to flatten the curve in the territory. Ifeanyi Ezumba has details.
Presenting the ambulance to FCT administration, the Acting Director General, Security and Exchange Commission, Mary Odak, observed that since the country recorded its COVID-19 index case in February 2020, the number of affected persons has been on the increase, leading to emergency situations and, in some cases, death. Receiving the ambulance on behalf of the FCT administration, FCT Minister as an essential commodity, adding that the ambulance would serve the administration beyond COVID-19 pandemic.
The FCT has gone a long way, made more provision of ambulances, made provision of hospitals for COVID-19, testing centers for COVID-19, and we are even yet to experience that number that will be out to populate, one hospital.
The FCT Minister of State emphasized that in the fight against the pandemic, the ambulance will be handy for quick response in moving patients from one place to another with ease. In Abuja, Ifani Izumba, NTA News.
Now, Muslims converged on the Abuja National Mosque for a national special Jumat prayers in demonstration of the scriptures, which enjoins man to return to Allah for solutions in all circumstances, like the ravaging COVID-19 and security challenges in the country. Abdullahi Ajia has more from the sermon and prayer organized by the Abuja National Mosque in partnership with the Nigerian Interreligious Council, NIREC.
Beyond the capacity and strength of man to handle situations, Muslim faithful who gathered at the Abuja National Mosque are recouping their spiritual strength through Allah's words as guaranteed in the potency of prayers in all seasons and challenges, which the Imam in his sermon said COVID-19 and insecurity in some parts of the country present, encouraging Muslims to obey laid-down protocols in addition to prayer.
Did today's prayer especially asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy upon the entire humanity, to relieve this COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the other security challenges we are experiencing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relieve it from us. Let us have peace so that the development will continue.
Top government officials, traditional rulers, as well as the diplomatic community attended the special prayer session.
So once we do the best that we can, and government continue to do the best that it's doing, then the rest we will ask God in his wisdom, in his power, to help us to defeat these two monsters that are bedeviling this nation. So I think this prayer is a step in the right direction.
Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has written world leaders and partners to appreciate their support towards helping Nigeria attain a wild polio virus-free status, pledging that his administration would sustain the momentum and strengthen the primary healthcare system. The president also commended Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Chairman, Presidential Task Force on Polio Eradication, and his team for making Nigeria proud and saving her children from the scourge of polio. Elizabeth Omori has details.
In a letter to the world leaders, President Muhammadu Buhari expresses his profound appreciation, commending the leadership of the Presidential Task Force on Polio Eradication and Routine Immunization. The declaration of Nigeria as a wild polio-free country is the result of very effective coordination of the Nigerian Polio Eradication Program through the Presidential Task Force on Polio Eradication and Routine Immunization, Federal Ministry of Health, and the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. President Buhari extends his personal appreciation to all members of the Presidential Task Force on Polio Eradication for making Nigeria proud and saving her children from the scourge of poliomyelitis. He urged the task force to sustain the coordination, especially in mobilizing state governors to provide the needed oversight and resources to sustain the momentum and strengthen the primary healthcare system by providing routine immunization, maternal, newborn, and child health services. The president also wrote a separate letter to the German Chancellor Angela Merkel, thanking the European country for decades of financial support to Polio Eradication Initiative Program in Nigeria through KFW. He assured them that the government will remain committed and focused to ensuring that the needed resources will be provided to sustain the momentum and strengthen the primary healthcare system of our great country. President Buhari also thanked traditional and religious leaders who, through their leadership, built community trust for the polio program, thereby increasing acceptance and ensuring all eligible children are reached with the polio vaccine. Specifically, he wrote Alhaji Muhammad Saad III, Sultan of Sokoto, the leadership, Jamaatul Nasrul Islam, and the President, Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN. The President also wrote separate letters of appreciation to Bill Gates, the European Union,
Director General, World Health Organization, Director, U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Executive Director, United Nations Children's Fund, President, World Bank Group, and John Bassa, Acting Administrator, United States Agency for International Development. Others are Global Affairs Canada, President, Japan International Cooperation Agency, and the International President, Rotary International. President Buhari also appreciated the support of Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Chairman, Aliko Dangote Foundation, Sir Emeka Ofo, and Governor Kayode Fayemi in his capacity as the Chairman, Nigerian Governors Forum. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Talking politics now, leader of the All Progressives Congress APC, Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu says there is neither rift nor infighting within the ranks of the party, which needs resolution or reconciliation. The APC stalwart stated this while answering questions from journalists after a closed-door meeting with the members of the party's caretaker committee at his Ikoyi residence in Lagos. Nosa Osulu reports.
The national leader noted that the party leadership had trust and respect for the chairman of the caretaker committee and that they were willing to support him to succeed for the party to continue its progressive governance of the country.
Sincerely, we have trust and respect for the character of the chairman of the caretaker committee and willing to support him to succeed for the party to continue its crusade of progressive governance in the country. We are steering the ship of our nation and our party in the right direction.
Chairman of the committee, Governor of Yobe State, who led other members to the meeting, explained that the series of meetings is all part of the consultation being made.
You know, the task before us is daunting and we need their experiences, guidance and prayers.
Other members of the committee in attendance include Chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, Secretary of Caretaker Committee of APC, Senator Akpan Udo Edehe, and Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
The People's Democratic Party primary election panel for the forthcoming Ondo State governorship election has announced that 2 aspirants fell short of their expectations. Correspondent Timothy Yusuf reports that the panel's chairman Yakubu Dogara briefed the media following the completion of the assignment. The report.
The 9 governorship aspirants screened behind closed door Ayitayo Jegede, Senator Boluwaji Kunlere, incumbent Deputy Governor Agbola Ajayi, Dr. Eddie Olafeso, Ben Banji Okunomo, Ben Ayorinde, Otumba Bamidele Akingboye, Mr. Gode Erewa, and Shola Ebiseni.
This is my second major attempt at wanting to be governor of Ondo State, so I am not new to being screened.
I'm not happy to report this to you, but that about 2 failed the test, the litmus test that we apply. But that's not to say that they have been disqualified, because we don't have the powers to disqualify anybody. There's still the opportunity of redress at the appeal panel.
The People's Democratic Party's primary election for the Ondo State governorship election is slated for the 22nd of this month. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has paid glowing tribute to the late Oni of Ife, Oba Adesoju Aderemi, on the 40th remembrance anniversary of the passage of the foremost monarch. In his message by the Special Advisor to the President, Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, President Buhari recalled the imprints of a foremost nationalist, successful businessman, former governor, Western Region, and traditional ruler who contributed immensely to the society in the provision of schools, dispensaries, churches, and museums, notably in his domain. He attracted the establishment of waterworks, electricity projects, and the University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. As the family remembers this monarch, knighted twice by the Queen of England, President Buhari prays his memory remains evergreen for the guidance and inspiration of current and future generations. You're watching the news at 9 on NTA. Time now to join Adiola in Lagos. Hello, Adiola.
Hello, Jumai.
The Nigerian Army has inaugurated its restructured Ekpe barracks to increase its reach and effectiveness. The commander, Nigerian Army Corps of Engineers, Major General John Malu, stated that the project is in line with transformational leadership of the Chief of Army Staff and evidence of the generous support of President Muhammadu Buhari. Imolia Yotokede has details.
To the glory of God and for the benefit of mankind. So is God.
The facilities include the Quarter Guard, 81 Division-based Ordnance Depot, Nigerian Army School of Finance and Accounting Official Commandant's Residence, among others. The reconstruction of these barracks is as a result of the recent expansion of the Army from 5 divisions to 8, as well as several commands spanning up.
This commissioning is therefore a testimony of the Nigerian Army's quest for peace, security, and prosperity of the nation. 2 units will be moving here to occupy the place, which are the Nigerian Army School of Finance and Administration and the 81 base Ordnance Depot.
This feat, which started barely 7 months ago, was handled by the Nigerian Army Engineers and the Nigerian Army Special Projects.
This inauguration is one of the many activities put in place by the Nigerian Army to celebrate its 157th anniversary. In Lagos, Imolia Yotokide, NTA News.
That's a report. The news will continue with Juma in Abuja after this time out. To stay on.
The number of the COVID-19 cases in Nigeria is increasing daily, with many more tests ongoing. The battle of testing, isolating, treating, and attending to the affected persons rests heavily on the shoulders of our health workers, constantly putting their lives on the line and at risk to contain this virus, save and protect the lives of millions of Nigerians. To these health workers, we at the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, on behalf of millions of Nigerians, say a big thank you for all that you have done and are doing. To the security agencies enforcing the lockdown and every other frontliner, we say thank you for putting your lives on the line to save ours. There is no amount of words that can quantify our gratitude. Thank you. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.